Today we're making the viral high protein cottage cheese keto friendly bagels. And of course this recipe was not originally keto, but we're gonna try to make it keto because we're testing out using keto flour in this recipe. So the basis for this recipe is baking powder, cottage cheese, and flour, all-purpose flour. And the extras for this recipe are salt, if you like flavor, egg, and everything but the bagel seasoning or any other kind of seasoning that you want. We're gonna be trying everything but the bagel seasoning on ours. So Sarah and I have been following this recipe as it's been going viral, and so finally we're gonna try it today. And the flour that we've decided to use is the one that we always have on hand. This is the King Arthur Keto Wheat Baking Flour. This is a 1-to-1 substitute for a regular all-purpose flour, and you can find this pretty much anywhere. We have it at our local grocery store. Sometimes it goes on sale pretty low. So we'll leave this link in the description below the video. We have tried to use almond flour in a similar recipe in the past because I know that a lot of you guys are gonna say, can you use almond flour? And it tasted okay because it doesn't have the same components that this does. Almond flour just doesn't have the same chemistry involved as something like this. This has starches in it and it has gluten in it. So it's gonna give it more of a bread-like texture. But you can try your other keto-friendly flour if you want. And this video is brought to you by Element. As you guys know, Sarah and I have been drinking Element every day since 2020 because we love the way it tastes and it helps us on our keto lifestyle. That's because when you go into ketosis, you shed a lot of water, and inside that water are your electrolytes. This can leave you feeling tired, having muscle cramps, or nausea, and we call that the keto flu. Element replenishes your electrolytes so that you feel better, and it is absolutely delicious. It is the best tasting electrolyte drink mix we have ever tried. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Sarah and I love all the flavors of Element, but our absolute favorites are the citrus salt and the grapefruit salt. You have to try them. Right now, Element is offering our Keto Twins community a free sample pack so you can try 8 of their flavors with any purchase. So you can buy some citrus salt and get a free sample pack. In order to get this deal, you must go to drinklmnt.com/ketotwins. So like I said, we've been following this recipe for quite some time, and it has transformed because people are trying it at home and adding their 2 cents into this recipe. So we've decided to take some aspects of some people's recipes and some techniques from other people's recipes and kind of do our own, right? And so you're gonna need to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And the first tip that we got was actually from Bethany Frankel, and she said to preheat your oven and your cookie sheet. So that's what we're gonna do. New microwave, guys.
I'm proud of my husband for getting it up there and it hasn't fallen yet, so knock on wood. Cookie sheet is going in the oven.
Does this make a difference? Who knows? Second tip is going to be to blend your cottage cheese, which is something that we always suggest doing if you're using cottage cheese in recipes because it gives a better uniform feel.
They're calling it whipped, which is, we're just blending it.
We're going to use 1 1/4 cup of Good Culture 4% cottage cheese. Use your favorite cottage cheese, but just make sure that it's 4% because the lower the fat, the higher the carbs typically. So next up, we're going to add together our baking powder and our keto-friendly flour and a pinch of salt. This was 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and a pinch of salt in 1 cup of keto baking flour. All right, here we go. We're gonna mix in our cottage cheese with the dry ingredients.
And a bagel dough should
form
eventually. Sarah here. I saw someone try to do this with almond flour and they eventually ended up adding all-purpose flour because it just would not come together, which is kind of like our experience as well. I mean, it would work a little bit, but I mean, maybe you could split the almond flour and flour or this type of flour, but we can't guarantee it, so.
So, here we are.
Do you want me to spray
yes,
a little bit on
please do. Look at me.
Okay, tell me when.
More slight meat. Okay, all right. Okay, now we're gonna work the dough.
It's definitely a better texture than the ones we made before because it's actually using a flour.
It's really sticky. I'm gonna cut this into 4 individual bagels, and then we're gonna start to form them on a piece of parchment paper, which will go on top of our preheated baking sheet. This is the first time I'm using this in the correct way.
I don't think so. It's a bench scraper, which means it can scrape benches. That's a pastry cutter, isn't it?
I think they're the same thing. Okay, they just kind of flatten it.
You have to like form it into a bagel with a hole in the middle.
That's what I'm doing.
What?
My finger's stuck in there. This looks really small. Maybe they'll rise because of the baking flour. On to our parchment they go. Beep. Sarah doesn't like the size of the hole.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, Sarah doesn't like the bagel hole.
It still sounds weird.
The hole is just for show, isn't it? Is there a reason why bagels have holes?
Yeah, I think because
Someone's gonna
they boil
tell us.
them. Emily's bagel artistry. This is how it's done, people.
Whatever. We call that rustic here. We're gonna just do a little bit of egg wash on each, and then we're gonna put some seasoning. Here we go. That does not look right. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna be optimistic. It's like I don't want to put a scrambled egg on top. You know what I mean? There's
You're
egg
right.
wash, and then there's egg.
That's true. An
There's
omelet.
on top,
Yeah.
right? Alrighty, here we go. One of the creators that we took inspiration from for this recipe put a lot of rock salt on hers, but I already feel that everything seasoning has a lot of salt in it, so we're not going to.
Plus, we're drinking Elements, so we have a lot of salt.
Right. Remember now, the pan is hot. Be very careful.
Slide it on there like a board.
Flawless. All right, in she goes for 25 minutes at 375. Okay. They're buns. I mean, they look kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna let these completely cool, and then we're going to slice them, and we're going to put some cream cheese with a little bit of green onion in it. We're gonna go downstairs, and we're gonna try these high protein, keto, cottage cheese bagels.
Buns.
Buns. So I already took a bite out of this one, as you guys can see, and it tastes really, really good. I would just say it probably needs to be cooked slightly longer. So maybe 3 or 4 more minutes.
I like them. They taste like bagels. You know, for a while there, they were looking like Betty's buns to me, but the texture is definitely not as chewy. It definitely tastes more like a bagel than the other ones that we've done in the past.
Aren't bagels usually boiled?
That's it too. I think a lot of people were complaining in the comments of these videos like a real bagel is boiled. And I think the whole point of this hack was to like get something faster with less ingredients and less time.
Yeah, a lot of people are very much sticklers to the traditional way to cook things. We're more so just trying whatever, right? A lot of times on keto, you are substituting things that might not work out perfectly. They don't have to be cooked the same way. And this is giving you the taste of a bagel and the shape of a bagel without all of the work involved with a bagel, right? And so obviously the technique is going to be different and it's going to taste a little bit different. The color is like on point. It's just missing a hole.
So maybe a bigger hole, cooked it for longer, and it would be more reminiscent of a bagel.
Also toasting it.
But I'm really liking the texture of the bread inside.
And I think that Bethany adding the egg wash on top really does add something nice there. It looks really, really good. I'm glad we did not add the rock salt.
I'm just thinking about all the variations that we could do with this recipe.
Cinnamon crunch bagel from Panera.
That was my favorite from Panera.
Jalapeno cheddar.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a follow-up video and do different variations.
Maybe we could get the whole to stay sometime.
So if you guys want us to make variations of this, let us know what you want to see. But definitely worth a try. If you guys try this out, let us know in the comment section below.
And maybe you guys figure out a way to even elevate this recipe further. We would also love to hear that because we love trying and testing recipes that you guys improve upon. You guys have had some really genius hacks that we've tried here on our channel, and we love sharing them with everybody. And we give you credit too.
Yep. And YouTube seems to think that you're going to like this video, so why don't you click on it and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily. And we are the Keto Twins signing out. Can I have the other one?
Well, one for the husband. Forget about him?
Yeah.